again, you've already heard probably, if you're paying attention at all, that it wasn't a particularly awesome day for the team. I will say in their defense, apparently the whole thing was basically, in rainy conditions the whole time. I'm not going to say it was pouring because I don't know that, but it seemed to be raining consistently, I guess, until the very end. And when they walked off, then all of a sudden it started to stop raining. Shocker. So that always makes it a little more difficult. Certainly, I think it's a little bit of an excuse for the kickers, who, that obviously makes it a little bit more difficult for them. But the basic overall premise that I heard, and from doing research, trying to figure out, glean as much as I could, was that the offensive line obviously struggled. But as we talked about earlier, 3/5 of the line was out, right? I think Cosme was out. Wiley was out. They didn't dress Brandon Coleman.
And that's why they've been signing all these guys.
And they're signing offensive linemen every day. They're signing a new guy.
Camp fodder.
Yeah.
Just bodies at this point.
So that gave that obviously made the job a little bit more difficult for Jayden when they got into the 11 on 11s. I know Linnell was out there, and he was getting a lot of run with some of his tweets. He's the one, I think, that tweeted that he was 7 for 15. That guy ML or whatever that
ML football.
Yeah, supposedly it's some kid that runs a site.
Don't know.
And he
has hundreds of thousands of followers.
He was just quoting Linnell, but there were some guys that stood out at times. Everybody saw the viral clip of Diami making the big catch. I was glad to see, and I saw this, I think this was a tweet out there that I saw on Hogs Haven, that finally there was a mention of Luke McCaffrey, that the tight end, Ben Sinnott, and Luke McCaffrey have had a couple of nice catches, according to Linnell. So that's good, Cakes. Want to see Luke McCaffrey, who was he a third-round pick?
Yeah, pick number 100 in the draft.
When you're a third-round pick, you're expected to contribute at some point.
That's why people are waiting for De'Ami Brown to contribute. Also a third-round pick.
But back to Jayden Daniels, we mentioned this before. So Sauce Gardner said he's going to be nice, but he also added that he was talking to him afterwards, and Jayden said something like, I would have been able to get that throw over anybody but you. So giving respect to Sauce, and they were joking around, and he said, you're going to be real good, man. As a corner, you want to go against a rookie quarterback, but he's one of those guys, like, he's developed. Obviously, he was drafted high, but he had some great throws out there.
And you
so
should love
I
some
thought that was
Sauce.
really complimentary from Sauce Gardner.
I know, he's a big golfer.
Yeah, he's got the golf bug.
I know, he's got
Hitting
the
him
golf
hard.
bug.
Maybe more than Eric.
Maybe.
I know he was
But
out
just-
there in the rain one day, right?
He's grinding.
Went viral.
But just remember, didn't the team kind of show up the Ravens when they had their joint practice? They kind of had the upper hand.
I feel like a lot of people felt pretty good after that one.
Yeah, they came out
Listen, you can't get too worked up about anything.
No, you can't. But I'm just saying, like, everyone was kind of down after this one, but last year everyone was high after their performance against the Ravens.
So everybody obviously was picking on Manny Forbes. JP mentioned he did have an interception in 7-on-7, so it wasn't all bad. I know John Keim also mentioned a couple other maybe pass breakups that he had in some of the situations. So, the corner situation is far from settled. Keim mentioned that even though he was listed as a backup, essentially, in the unofficial depth chart, when they first went out there at 11 on 11s, it was he and St. Juice were the first two corners out there.
Right.
So who knows? Beyond that, I was happy to see that it seemed universal that the pass rush was flashing. That's a question that I have going into this because, we have all new guys, basically, other than the interior of the line. So the pass rush flashing, good sign. Didn't necessarily hear it was from Jamin, which is what I'm looking for. But still early in the transition for Jamin. Cakes.
You know what, because we do these rotating vacations, I don't know what you guys talked about when I was gone, and you don't really know what we talked about while you were gone, but Cakes, he did like an imaginary bit while you were out. And I guess, did you use the backpacking machine on Jamin Davis?
No, I used the backpacking machine that they were going to do exactly what I thought they were going to do. They were going to try to make him into Micah Parsons.
And then
Now,
Cakes did
he's far
some.
from
I
it at
can't
this
remember
point.
exactly, but you then mocked EB because
Well, I
all the
stole
reports
back padding
were.
machine.
But all the reports were that Jamin Davis was not looking very good.
Well,
I know, I heard that.
There's just a lot of
I mean,
lot of
they're 2
Jamin
weeks
Davis
in.
hype.
They're 2 weeks in. One thing that Keim did mention is that they're not going to give up on him because you know there is so much talent on there. They're going to give him a full opportunity.
Well, hopefully they harness it and find something productive for
Now
him
listen,
to do.
he might have done something yesterday. I just know that when I'm perusing tweets and stuff, and I'm looking at the guys that were there, I haven't really seen a mention of them.
You're going to find as much Jamin Davis highlights as I found Bilal Koulibaly box scores from yesterday against Germany.
Right.
I think it's about the same number.
Well, you can find his name in the box score. You're just not going to see anything.
Oh, the box,
I watched the game.
the box that I was looking at on ESPN.com didn't even have his name listed.
Oh, they didn't even list his name.
It didn't even have Koulibaly DNP.
I
CD.
watched him. Here's what he did, Cakes.
Yeah, just sat on the bench.
When the guys came, he stood up.
That's, you know what? You know what he was doing? Being a good teammate.
But at a minimum, he's a silver medalist.
That's true. But you know what? That's a win in his column.
He made the team.
Good for him.
I think we also mentioned earlier, Dotson apparently made a couple plays. McLaurin had a play or two. So everybody kind of did something. Zach Ertz had a nice play. So, you know, who knows? Incomplete. The one thing I'll say is even in the regular season, you never know what you're going to get week to week. Maybe by the end of the season, you kind of know you've settled in. But even a bad team can flash and have a good week. So you just don't know. Valdez brings up a good point. When they played the Ravens last year in their controlled joint practice or whatever, a lot of people felt pretty good about how they fared there. That's kind of when Sam Howell cemented his lock on the starting job, and they ended up winning 4 games. So don't get too crazy. It'd be interesting to see how things play out with the Saturday preseason game, which, again, is at noon, people.
So early.
Cake's going to miss it.
I'm feeling like if some of those guys that were held out on the offensive line aren't in the game on Saturday, you're going to see a very brief appearance by Jayden Daniels.
Yes. One series. If
Like one series, a couple handoffs, maybe a throw or two, and then they're going to say, you know what? I'm going to save you for the Miami preseason game. Let's just get out of here without any sort of nonsense, without somebody coming off the edge when we've got just a random camp body protecting you. I don't think he's going to play more than 2 series.
We'll probably see more of it, but Linnell said that Mariota actually looked pretty good at times moving the second team. Jameson Crowder making some nice plays.
you know what? Also, that turf is garbage that they're going to go play at
At MetLife.
At
yeah.
MetLife. You know, don't even play Jayden.
Why don't they fix that?
I don't know, but it's a disaster. It's one of the worst surfaces in the NFL.
Have you lost a guy there or something? Have you lost a Raven there?
No. It's notorious
Yeah.
for being an awful playing surface.
Right. The other thing that people you have to notice is while the DBs struggled, it wasn't even against Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers, of course, didn't play.
Correct. Do we have the audio, by the way? We have a kid in the stands basically was taunting Emmanuel Forbes when he was lining up against Garrett Wilson, and it didn't go well at the end for Manny Forbes. This is
Garrett, I know you're going to cook Emmanuel Forbes. I told you Emmanuel.
So, of course, then Tyrod Taylor throws a bomb to Garrett Wilson, 30 or 35
right on
yards.
that play,
right
as
after
he says it.
The kid's a seer. He's Nostradamus up in the stands.
Oh, my God. Yeah. He's a young Tony
He's
Romo.
just a sawed-off little Jets fan. He's probably saying that before every snap.
Do you think 2 years from now, I'm going to give you 2 more years.
2 years, okay.
Besides Sam Cosmi, will there be any remaining players from the Ron Rivera draft choices?
I mean, how many are left? De'Ami Brown,
Dotson.
Yeah,
I think Dotson will remain. Cosmi will still be here.
Maybe Bates. I think Bates is a quality, just like
blocking tight end.
Yeah, serviceable guy.
It's
St.
not
Just.
It's not going to be more than a handful.
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson under Ron's watch.
I mean, who knows?
I mean, 5 or 6 guys. There might be a few holdovers.
I don't know if Manny Forbes is going to be there. I doubt Jamin's going to be there. It's going to need a big turnaround from those guys.
I know that the entire 2020 class is already gone. Not a single guy remains from that class.
Yeah. There was a little skirmish earlier in the scrimmage. I think it involved Manny Forbes. I think that's what Rick wants to talk about. Rick, what's up, man? You're on with the Junks.
Hey, good morning, Junks. Love your show.
Thanks, man.
You, Rick.
Yeah, I had a friend that went to the practice up there, and he said, yeah, Forbes lost his cool, and he got into a little fisticuffs. I'm sure Quinn and the coaches aren't going to like that too much.
They probably don't hate it. You want to see a little fight?
It must have been minor
I heard
because
it was very minor.
I read something in the Washington Post that there really weren't any fights or skirmishes. So
the comment,
maybe it was a little
I
shoving
think Mickey
match.
said it was pretty weak.
Plus, if Manny Forbes hits you, would you even feel it?
It's like a gnat. It's like a gnat. I think those horse flies down in OBX
Yeah, they definitely
hurt worse.
hit harder.
I did see Linnell's tweet, and that was the most concerning thing. It wasn't that Forbes got beat because you're a cornerback. You're going to get beat in the NFL. But I think he got beat and then kind of just put his head down and watched him sprint past him.
Right.
That's concerning.
That hurts.
That's a bad look.
I don't know enough about it. It's just, if this guy turns out to be a bust, man, wow, what a botch. Like, I just don't know how you can, with your first round corner pick, you can really, I mean, I understand quarterbacks are hard.
Yeah.
The corners are you're just drafted pure athlete. I would think that would be an easier position to draft.
I just don't see how anybody can take Ron Rivera seriously if he ever talks about NFL personnel ever again.
Yeah, but it's
how
not,
do you trust him?
it's not like Forbes was a reach though. He was projected to go anywhere between 15th to the second round.
Cakes, he read the papers.
I know.
Yeah.
It's at some point some team was going to draft Forbes
Of course.
before the third round
Right.
in the first or second round.
I totally agree. But how did everybody get it so wrong, apparently?
Look,
How did everybody?
You can't bail on the guy after one season.
I'm not.
Oh, but there are
Kind of
a
are.
lot of people that are already
I'm
labeling
not,
him
but
a
I'm
bust.
nervous. I am nervous. Now, I did defend him all preseason before yesterday and say I thought he played better in the second half of the season when they benched him and they came back in some limited moments and then played more as the season progressed. I thought he did play better. And he is going against Garrett Wilson, who they say is different than everybody else.
Well, he's a stud.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, Garrett Wilson is going to be like a 10-touchdown, 1,200-yard receiver type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And those numbers might be light.
Right.
Like if he has a connection with him like he had close to what he had with Devontae Adams back in Green Bay. I know that was more Aaron Rodgers in his prime. But that dude is a ridiculous wideout.
Well, apparently he's ridiculous even with Tyrod Taylor or whoever.
Yeah, he's a difference maker.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's something to look for. See if the corners can show up a little better on Saturday. See if that pass rush is still there. And see if they can't get a few more guys on the offensive line healthy. And at least for a series or two, give Jayden some time to maybe hit a few plays. So, sounds like, it's hard to glean because, again, they only had 10 or 15 minutes on TV where we could watch. And even the media that was out there was having a difficult time, I think, kind of tracking everything with 3 fields and the rain. But it sounded like it wasn't a great day for Commanders fans, but it's very early. Let's not panic yet. Although, if I see another couple bad ones, I might start panicking.
Just give them time to rebuild this thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be flipped into a Super Bowl contender in one off season.
No, but I do need him to win 7 or 8 games. I do need him to win 7 or 8 games. I can't go through another 4-win season. I can't do it.
You can't.
I'm just telling you right now, I can't do it. I can't go
If
through
they
a
were to
4-win
win
season.
4 games, all this honeymoon stuff of Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, it would be so done. It would be.
I'm going to start trashing
He's another
Harris.
Ron Rivera.
Yeah. If we go through another 4-win season, I'm burning the house down.
Yeah.
I can't do it.